With me now is Dan Jones from H&R Block to talk, of course, about tax time.
Again.
People are already starting to get their W-2s, correct?
That's correct. We have several companies in the Toledo area that have already sent out their W-2s. If not, even at H&R Block, we have access to over 50,000 of them electronically through different electronic services. So if your employer participates in one of those services, we can actually gain access to your W-2 in minutes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know they did that online. Now, when does your employer need to have your W-2 to you?
By law, they have to be in the mail by January 31st.
Okay.
So by January 31st, they have to be in the mail postmarked. But then you got to rely on the postal system to actually get them to you. So our good word of mouth is always February 15th. Right about then is about that time. Got to give the postal system about 2 weeks to get them out to you.
Okay. So you're starting to get very busy this
That's
time
correct.
of year. People coming in the door of H&R Block all the time. What paperwork do we need to make sure we have in our hands before we come in and expect to get our taxes figured?
A lot of times just making sure that you have your W-2s. The big thing that we see a lot of people holding out on now is a lot of the retirees. You know, you may have forgotten, you may have been working somewhere, you took that 401k distribution or something like that. That's going to issue you a 1099 form from the retirement plan. Most of the people don't think about those little extra forms that they're going to be getting. They just think, well, I get my W-2, I can get in there and file. They forget about all these additional forms coming from all the other payers also.
And you need things like mortgage interest and taxes
mortgage
paid
interest,
and those
student
sorts
loan
of things.
interest, all those things come into play.
What big changes will we see this time around compared to last year?
Well, you still have the Making Work Pay credit, which is the stimulus plan that Barack Obama signed into law. That was also for last year, carries into next year too. So those changes, you know, we're talking 7 million clients that are going to get affected by that across the country.
And that's less money taken out of our check, but not less taxes due, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. And so some people, we're estimating about 7 million people are going to get sticker shock this year when they actually see their tax return, and that's going to count into next year. So this is the year that you want to see a professional and get that the actual review done to make sure that you're getting every penny that you're entitled to.
Okay. Any reminders, anything that people just forget and they really need to know?
Well, probably the biggest thing is just making sure that when you sit down with the tax preparer, you're sitting down with somebody who's been educated on the tax law changes, that understands the tax law changes. Just because they have initials behind their name or just because they work for a tax company doesn't necessarily mean the individual's got the training or the education background. So definitely ask your preparer to see their credentials, to see their training. That's definitely becoming a part with us. We've always had continuing education requirements at our company, but next year it's going to become even more enforced with some other agencies also.
Okay, and do you generally need to make an appointment or can you just walk in?
Actually, you can even do your taxes online with us. You can do them online and send them to a professional to be reviewed to where you don't even have to come into the office. You can do that product. We also have the online versions. You can buy software in the stores. You can come in and see an individual. You can fill out your paperwork yourself and bring it in and have it looked over even by a professional.
Save yourself
also
a little money that way.
Yes, that's correct.
They are making it a little bit easier for us. It's tax time. And thank you, Dan Jones. That is tonight's Talk Back.